No matter how busy you are, how overwhelming life gets, you can always find time to declutter. But sometimes it helps for you to have strategies in your arsenal to help you declutter faster. So that is what I'm sharing in today's video. My husband keeps walking through. So in today's video, I'm sharing 10 tips that can help you speed up the decluttering process by 20, 50, or even 80% so that you can stop stressing out about clutter, and at least that will be one less thing to worry about in your busy life. Sounds too good to be true? Let me show you how. Let's dive in. My first tip for you is to stop the inflow of clutter. And I say this because it seems like it should be a no-brainer, but it wasn't at all for me. So when I first started decluttering, I was getting rid of my clutter in two main ways. I was either selling it online or I was donating it to the thrift stores. And after I would drop off these huge loads of clutter, I always went inside to just take a peek. I inevitably found a bunch of good stuff to bring home, and I would alleviate any guilt that I felt by telling myself it's not a big deal because if I decided I didn't like it, then I could just go ahead and sell it online. But what I was really doing was slowing down the decluttering process and putting more burden and extra work on myself. It's like trying to drain a pool that has a fire hose gushing into it. So if you're someone who tends to engage in retail therapy, or has a shopping addiction, or thinks they're being frugal and can't resist a good deal, you need to find ways to help you curb your shopping and stop that inflow of clutter to see faster results. And if you need help with this, don't worry, because I have a ton of blog posts and videos that can really help you with that. I will make sure to link them down in the description box below for you to check out if this is something you struggle with. I think they're vacuuming the staircase outside and slowly coming up. Sorry if there's like extra noise, guys. This is like a make it work moment. Tip number 2 when you're short on time is to do a simple trash sweep. This is also known as good old-fashioned trash bag therapy. All it takes is just grabbing a garbage bag and walking around your house and start tossing out stuff that is literally trash. So here we are in my entryway, and because this is a place where there are a lot of flat surfaces, clutter can collect here very, very easily, especially since it's right when you come in the door. It's easy for my kids to just stuff and forget about it. So what I'm gonna do is just take the garbage bag and start tossing stuff that is trash into it and get it out of here. So back here in this little bucket, what I have is some stuff that we would need when we go out. And what happened is when we moved to Germany, I wasn't familiar with the brands, and my sons have eczema, so it took us a while to find sunscreen that was compatible with their skin and didn't give them any breakouts or anything. So when we went to Spain, we did finally find a brand of sunscreen that worked really well for their skin. And so what that means is now I can get rid of these other sunscreens that are like half full, half used up, because we would now stick to this brand instead. So we're just gonna toss these. Okay, so now here we are in my office, and I'm gonna take a look at the bookshelf and see if there's any trash on here too, because just like these other flat surfaces in my entryway, trash can also tend to collect here. Old schoolwork. Are you kidding me? This is not my son's work. This is his classmates' homework. My son brought home someone else's paper clutter for me to declutter. I quit. That is too funny. I'm sure that when they were seatmates, her stuff just got kind of mixed in with his, and he ended up bringing it home and we just didn't realize. So I can tell that this is old work, so this is going to go in the trash as well. Wow, we only went really quickly through those 2 spaces, and look how much stuff I already got for us to declutter. Tip number 3 is to keep your eyes on the prize. When you want to declutter and you have a limited amount of time, you need to put the horse blinders on and stay laser focused. Let's say that you have 15 minutes to declutter and you go into the kitchen ready to start, and then you notice that you forgot to do the dishes from this morning. So you think, well, I better do those dishes really quick. And before you know it, 15 minutes have gone by, the kids are calling your name, You remembered 5 other things you need to get done, and you walk out of the kitchen without having accomplished any of the decluttering that you set out to do. Remove distractions as much as possible. Don't try to clean, don't try to organize, just focus on decluttering. Remind yourself that once the clutter is gone, it's going to be a lot easier to clean and organize what's left in the future. My next tip to help you declutter faster is to donate more. Not long ago, we had to declutter my kids' clothes and shoes and buy new ones for the start of the new school year. And in the past, I've sold kids' clothing in bulk on Facebook Marketplace or on eBay, but this year we've had a lot going on, and so I decided I was just going to donate the clothes that were in good enough condition and recycle the rest. I'm a huge fan of sustainable decluttering, but when you are really overwhelmed, you don't want to pile even more checkboxes on your already overflowing to-do list. Don't put your stuff on a pedestal above your own mental health and happiness, because in the end, you and your peace of mind are more important than the stuff that you own. My next tip to help you declutter faster is to use the 80-20 rule, and this rule is also known as the Pareto principle. And this rule states that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts, and it applies to so many areas of life, and your home is no exception. This can translate to things like 20% of your habits contribute to 80% of your productivity, or that most people wear 20% of their wardrobe 80% of the time. So how can you apply this rule to help you declutter faster? Well, one way to use this principle is to tackle the high impact areas in your home. It might mean clearing visual clutter off of flat surfaces that are highly visible, like your kitchen countertops, bookshelves, or your dining room table, so that you give your eye a chance to rest. And if you know statistically that you are only using 20% of your wardrobe 80% of the time, then maybe that's just the kick in the butt you need to start letting go of some of those clothes. And that brings me to my next tip, which is to be ruthless. So here we are now in front of my wardrobe, which is pretty minimal already. I have around 80 pieces that I mix and match throughout the year to create a lot of different outfits for my minimalist wardrobe. But even I, who consider myself pretty minimal, still have things that I have been avoiding decluttering in my closet. So today I'm going to take care of that. When people ask me how to know if they should declutter something or not, here's my response. If you have to ask yourself if you should keep something, then you probably should declutter it. If it's not a clear yes, then it's a no. For example, now I'm going to pull out this work blazer, and this item has been a little bit sentimental for me because I think it's the last that I have from when I was a working professional in Chicago. And I kept telling myself if I needed to dress up for a fancy event or a speaking event that I would wear this. But I haven't worn this blazer in 2 years. The last time that I wore it was when I was kitchen shopping with my husband. And I know that if I was given the chance to speak at something or try to dress up for an event, I would choose something that I felt comfortable and beautiful in, and not this that I just feel so ho-hum average about. So I'm going to be ruthless, and I am going to get rid of this blazer. Because think about it. Why would you want to create a life full of so-sos and ho-hum things and maybes when you could create a life where you're surrounded by things that you love and enjoy using? You deserve a life full of yeses. Another decluttering hack that I have for you is to create clutter drop zones. So a drop zone is a designated place where you can quickly and easily drop clutter off when you find it lying around. And maybe you don't really have time to deal with it right at that moment. I have a drop zone for unwanted clothes that I keep as a bag in my wardrobe. And then in my office, there is another drop zone that I call my clutter bucket. One of my followers told me that she calls hers a crap basket, and I can't decide which I like more. No matter what you call it, these drop zones are handy to have around, and they can help teach the rest of your family how to quickly drop clutter off in there as they go as well. Like when my son broke his lunchbox and we had to buy him a new one, he decluttered the old one and dropped it off in the clutter bucket. My next decluttering tip for you is to set a timer. And a lot of people get caught up in this mindset that they think they need to have a lot of time to declutter effectively. In reality, you can still get a lot accomplished even if you only have 15 minutes a day to declutter your home. If you don't believe me, you can go check out this video where I set a timer and I was able to declutter my entire home in 30 minutes. I gave myself 5 minutes in 6 of my most highly trafficked areas, and I was able to get a lot decluttered in that amount of time. Tip number 9 on this list is to use a Rehome box. A lot of people know to grab boxes or bags before they start decluttering to separate the stuff that they want into trash, recycle, donate, sell, etc. but I also like to have a box for rehoming my clutter. I don't want to run back and forth putting stuff here and there as I go. I find it a much more efficient use of my time to put everything that belongs elsewhere into one box, bin, or even a tray, and then I declutter that space. And then after I declutter that space, I walk around my home and put the stuff back where it goes. And that really helps speed up and streamline the decluttering process. My final tip for you today is to try and make decluttering fun, because if you see something as fun, you're more likely to want to continue to do that thing in the future. And even if decluttering is hard for you, try not to dwell on the negative aspects and instead focus on the positive. There are plenty of ways that you can make decluttering a fun and positive experience. You could turn on a music playlist that always gets you motivated when you hear it. Or you can promise yourself that if you start decluttering, you get to listen to your favorite YouTuber or a podcast that you've been waiting to listen to, however long you spend decluttering. A lot of people find it really motivating to take before pictures before they start decluttering, so that when they're done decluttering, they can take another picture and see how much progress they've made. You could also look for printables to help you declutter, like decluttering bingo, 30-day challenges, or a printable checklist to help keep you on track. Whatever it takes to keep you inspired and motivated as you declutter your way to the home of your dreams. Now remember, this is by no means the most comprehensive list of decluttering tips, rules, strategies, and ideas. And if you're feeling extra motivated and looking for more inspiration, you can go check out this video, and I'll see you again next week. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.